Now, every time you think about this, I want you to think of an orange. One orange with many, many pieces. One fruit, many pieces. You cannot say, I still only have 3 pieces. God is not asking you to have 3 pieces. He's asking you to have the whole fruit. And this whole fruit has 9 pieces. These 9 pieces of the fruit of the Spirit is the character of Jesus Christ. It is what makes Jesus Christ the Lamb of God. Now, I want you to see something here. In 1 Corinthians 12, you find the 9 gifts of the Holy Spirit. Say with me, 9 gifts of the Holy Spirit. Say it one more time. 9 gifts of the Holy Spirit. Say 9 pieces of the fruit of the Spirit. Amazing, right? So listen to this. The 9 pieces that makes the one fruit of the Spirit is the character of Jesus Christ, which should be your character. So when we talk character, we're talking you having these 9 pieces in your life. When you have these 9 pieces, Scripture says Satan cannot use you. Neither can he overcome you. And sometimes we bind and we loose, but once you begin to live by these 9 pieces that makes one fruit of the Spirit, Satan cannot use you. Only God can use you. These 9 pieces is the character of the Christian believer, is the character of Jesus Christ, and this is what you need. And then the 9 gifts is the power of Jesus. But the fruit of the Spirit is number 1, yes? Love, joy, peace. Now pause. Love, joy, and peace. If you remember, I taught on love, isn't it? Love is the strongest force in the earth. Love never fails. If you believe God loves you, you can kiss failure goodbye. If you believe you love yourself, see, there are a lot of people that want to be loved, but they don't love themselves. Listen to me. Those of you that have a job, if you're every time you're at work, you're looking forth for a weekend. You can't wait for Friday, Ruth, to come. If you're looking forth for Friday to come, it's because you don't love what you do. And it is impossible
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Grace TV Youth with a Vision right here live in the studios in Lusaka. Good morning, and wherever you're watching from, it's good morning. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me get to know where you're watching Youth with a Vision today on a Saturday. It's a warm welcome to today's program. It's a warm welcome to today's program. Please welcome to the program, and please, if you're just seated and you are alone, let me get to know where you're watching me from, and get to tag a friend, get to tag people, let them know where you are watching from. Tell them we are live Youth with a Vision. This is a program that comes to bring you all the topics that you want. You want to leave a legacy, this is the best program. You want any motivation, you want anything that will build you, this is your program. You want anything that will transform you, that will change you, this is your program. This is the right program. So please do not be selfish. Share the information with your friends and let them know, because I have an amazing topic today. I have an amazing topic, and I believe that after today's program, your life is going to change. Remember, you can feel free to send your contributions to the comment section. I'll be able to read them through. I'll read all your comments pertaining to the program. Anything that you have to say, I am able to read them. And remember, you can also be part of this program by simply sending us your WhatsApp number in the comment section, and we'll be able to bring you live on the screen right here on Grace TV, and we'll be able to interact and chat. So I want you to chat with me, especially on the program that I've entitled, on the topic that I've entitled, Imaginations Create. Imaginations Create is my topic for today. Imaginations Create. In case you're just seated, please, you can get your diary. Apart from your diary, you can also get a pen and a paper, and let us get to interact on the program. Imaginations Create. Many of us do not understand, and we don't take this seriously, that imaginations really create. Whatever you see, if you see a chair, it just didn't appear like that. There was a person that imagined it. They first had to imagine how it would look like. Even when you look at a house and you see something nice, and you see a decor, you see the decor is very nice, you look at a building, whatever you look at a nice car, it all tells you the power of imagination. Meaning that if you have not imagined anything, you cannot become. The number one step of becoming the best version of yourself is by you imagining something. Now, you imagining something is, what is it that you are imagining? Imaginations create. So feel free, you have any questions about imaginations, you have some contributions, please feel free to send your contributions, and I'll be able to read them live right here in the studio. Now, I want us to understand something. Your mind is like a garden. Your mind is like the garden at the backyard of your house. So in that garden, you get to plant a lot of things. You can plant vegetables, you can plant maize, you can plant anything that you want. You can put in a seed, because that's a garden that allows things to germinate. That's a garden that allows things to germinate. Now, in this garden that you have, what you plant in it is what germinates. So for example, I'm going to give you an example. If you plant maize in the garden, you expect to pluck maize. If you pluck vegetables, let's say you pluck rape or cabbage, that is what will come out of the garden. Now, if you plant maize in the garden, there is no possibility that you pluck something different. That's the law of nature. The law of nature states that whatever you plant is what germinates. Whatever you plant is what germinates. So what you plant begins to germinate dependent on the seed that you had put on the ground for that it is what begins to germinate. Now, here is a problem that we have. Many of us today, especially the youth, you get to plant laziness and you expect to reap prosperity. It doesn't work like that. There is no magic to it. What you plant is what germinates. So from the garden of your backyard, a time comes that you begin to pluck certain things. You begin to pluck the things that you had germinated, the things that you had planted in the same garden. These are things that begins to germinate. So imaginations create. You cannot become if you've not imagined yourself to be the vision of that person that you really want to become. Now, in that garden that you pluck things, there are times that you can have some things, some weeds that might start germinating. But what happens is that when those seeds begin to germinate, actually, we begin to remove them. We begin to remove the unwanted seeds. We begin to remove the things that are not needed. Why do we do that? We do that so that we can have a clear picture of seed, or a clear germination of the seed that we had planted. That's the reason we begin to pluck out the weeds. Why? Because when we don't pluck out the weeds would definitely grow with the things that we've planted in that garden. So now here is a problem that most of us have today. In the mind, we have a lot of things that we've put in place, but we begin to leave the weeds to germinate, and they begin to overpower us. And what are these seeds that we allow to germinate in the garden, and they make us to just grow into becoming those weeds? Now, firstly, those weeds can be negative thoughts. The weeds can be negative words. The weeds can be anything that is not good to germinate. It begins to germinate. Why? Because that thing is not needed. So it becomes your responsibility to get rid of the weeds or anything that is not needed to germinate in the garden. So every great person that has become, and this is the message that I always bring out on this program, every person that has become, they have become because they chose to imagine. Even the people that do murder, if you go to courts today, if you go to local courts or wherever you go to, they will tell you that the people that commit murder, even when they ask them, they'll tell you that firstly, it started as a thought. It started as an idea. It's something that was an imagination. Even the people that kill, they would tell you today that before they kill someone, they first imagine, they start imagining things, where they'll move, they start planning what they'll put on, they'll make sure that they'll have something on their face that will really, really not show their face, so that when they go to do an assignment is going to be prosperous. So they begin to imagine going to the person. If, for example, these are people that are kidnapping someone, they first start by imagining things, and not just imagining things, they even start planning. This tells you that success and everything that you want to be or become, it starts with the imagination. So for example, if they are kidnapping someone or they want to kidnap someone, the first thing that they'll do is they'll plan on how they'll get the person, put the person in the vehicle, get a black cloth, cover their face, do what they imagine, and after they imagine, that thing becomes a reality. Today we live in a time where we imagine so many bad things about us. We imagine bad things about our future. We imagine bad things about our tomorrow. Now, when you imagine bad things about your future and you imagine bad things about tomorrow, that becomes your reality. That becomes your life. That becomes your law. That begins to determine the quality of your life. So you want to see success, you want to grow and move to the next level, you must apply the law of nature. And the law of nature states that for you to become great or for you to become big, you must first imagine. Now, secondly, Whatever thoughts you give your quality time, they germinate. Whatever thought you give your quality time, they germinate. Whatever thought you give your quality time, it begins to germinate. Imagine you have 24/7, you have 24 hours in a day. And in the 24 hours in a day, you spend 15 hours imagining something bad. And this thing you're imagining, which is bad, it's not about someone else, but it's about you. And now that thing begins to germinate. That thing begins to go into your subconscious. You cannot get rid of something that has become part of your subconscious, because your subconscious, it is the conscious that keeps things for a long time without you realizing, and you begin to become a victim of that thing, because every time you sit, those things begin to germinate, those things begin to happen, those things begin to manifest. So where you spend your quality time is where your future lies. So if you spend your quality time, most of your quality time doing most of the things, thinking about how bad your life is going to turn out to, that's what will begin to manifest. That's what will begin to manifest. I've seen people who've fallen sick, and in the process of falling sick, they start imagining themselves dying. You start seeing a coffin. You start seeing people crying. You start seeing people grabbing your property. You start seeing people coming to your funeral and giving tributes on how great and how powerful and how beautiful and how amazing you were. You can't imagine living such kind of a life. You fall sick, and the best thing you can do is to imagine yourself. You fall sick and you imagine yourself dying. Imagine that thing, thinking about yourself and not about any other person. I can tell you that it's so toxic. Your life doesn't need that. Your life doesn't need that. You need to think about your good things, your quality time. Spend your quality time thinking about how great you become. Spend your quality time thinking about how powerful you are. Spend your quality time thinking about how amazing. Spend your quality time thinking about how good your life is. Spend your quality time thinking about the positive side. There is no bonus in thinking about bad things, especially about your future. You can't spend 24/7 meditating on the things that you have no control, the things that will not help you, and the things that cannot help you, and the things that will never help you. This is not a time to create pity parties. You can't create a party, a braai, where you just start imagining how. Some of you that are watching me right now, you are parents. Now imagine, you start imagining your child failing. You start imagining things that are bad. And you get to realize that this thing that you're imagining, in due time, it begins to manifest, even without your consent, because the law of nature states that whatever you imagine becomes a reality. Whatever you imagine becomes a reality. Whatever you imagine becomes a reality. So let's take it. You are imagining the good things. You are imagining about how powerful you are. So now these are the imaginations that begin to create. Where you spend your quality time is where your power lies. Your life lies in that. Everything that you do is determinant on what you have always determined, because the picture you choose to look at becomes your reality. Now, what picture are you looking at in your life today? The picture you decide to look at becomes your reality. If you choose to look at your past, that's the picture I'm talking about, and that picture becomes your reality. When your past becomes your future, you destroy what you want to become. When your past begins to determine the kind of life that you live, you destroy the future. I always say prosperity is not built on ages. Prosperity is built every day. And it starts from a second. It starts ticking from a second. It ticks from a second. It goes to a minute. It goes to an hour. It transits into a week, a month, and finally a year, and year finally into years. This is what most of us do not understand, and this is what most of us do not want to take into consideration. Whatever you want to become, it starts with a second. So imagine spending 5 hours every day meditating on the people that have caused harm. Imagine spending 7 hours on negative thoughts that are not building you. Imagine every day of your life spending 12 good hours, 13 good hours, 7 good hours, just thinking about the bad things that will happen to you. That becomes your reality. That becomes your reality. And that is the law of nature. Whatever picture you see, whatever power you see, it is what begins to manifest. There are not two ways about it. And every time you imagine, I want you to understand this. Every time you imagine bad things, those things become a reality. Whether you like it or not, they become a reality. I want you to listen to me and listen very well as you are watching. Your life is a gift, and that gift must be treasured. Do not allow yourself to find yourself in a situation where you become vulnerable. Because when you allow yourself to be in a situation where you become vulnerable, the challenges that you face, the imaginations that you have, becomes a reality of what you want to become. Madam Londekar, I see you. Thank you so much and good morning. Whatever you see, it just becomes a reality. So for you to avoid this bad reality into coming to a manifestation, the law states that you become radical on yourself. You become radical on yourself. Now, here is a powerful thing I want you to hear, and I want you to write down if you're writing down. Did you know that what gives strength to your physical body is your mind? Your body, your physical body, it gets strength from your mind. Now, to prove to you that what I'm speaking is not from without but within, look at this. When a person says, I don't feel like doing anything, I don't feel like going for work. Now, the thing that said, I don't feel like going for work, it is the mind. It is the mind. But what happens? The body will have no option but to go with that. So what gives strength to your physical body is your mind. You're watching me right now and you find that you do not have strength in your body. The reason you do not have strength in your body is because you've told your mind, you've told your imaginations that you cannot do this thing. And because you've told your mind that you cannot do this thing, your imaginations have become a reality. And in this reality, they've begun to give moral power. They're giving kinetic energy to your body. They're giving kinetic energy to your body. The only way you get this energy is by training yourself. You tell yourself, I can't do this. For example, if somebody convinces himself that I don't want to eat, the body will not stand to go and find where the food is, even if the food is just here. So that should tell you something. That should tell you something. Your mind gives strength to your physical body. When your mind is weak, your physical body becomes weak. That's just the truth. When your mind is weak, your physical body has got no option but to become weak. Why? Because your mind is the system. It is the operating system. It is what gives power to you. Every time you see a person going around and they look so energetic, they look ready for the day, it means that they had told themselves that tomorrow I'm going to go for work, or tomorrow I'm going to do this and this and this and this transaction. And when you wake up early morning, If you go to bed imagining good things, planning good things about yourself, every time in the morning, you will not have to debate with your body. Many people, some of you that are watching me right now, it's 9 a.m. We are just like 4 minutes to 10 a.m. And some of you are still in bed. The reason you're still in bed is because you've told your mind that you don't want to do anything. And because you don't want to do anything, your body has allowed you. That's the reason you're still in bed. Now, here is the thing. Success will not come because you say you want to become. There is a difference between saying I want to become and becoming the person you want to become by portraying action to what you want to become. Now, here is a problem that we have, most of us. We say, I am confessing with my mouth that I am going to become this person. Now, here is an example that I always give. There are some people who say, I am believing God for a job. I am believing God for a connection. I am believing God for someone to come through and help me. And they keep their phones off. That is what I'm talking about today. Your mind, your imagination must be in line with your physical being, so that when we add them together, they become and create a reality. You can't say you're expecting something, and you keep your phone off. So how will people call you? How will people get to you? So the number one principle that allows your imaginations, not just imaginations, but your good imaginations, to come to reality is by you setting up yourself, tuning in yourself, giving yourself physical energy. Like I've stated, the physical strength that you need will only come from your mind. Whatever you put here is what begins to manifest. There are no two ways about it. There are no two ways about it. Whatever you put in the mind is what begins to manifest, is what begins to move in your life. It begins to correct you. It begins to tell you where to go. It begins to tell you where to live. It begins to tell you where to turn and where to do what. So your mind gives strength to your physical body. You want to see your physical body into action? Apply strength in your mind. And every time you apply strength in your mind, you are going to see that the manifestation of whatever you want to see or whatever you want to become, it will become a reality. Now, here is the other thing that I want you to know. Your mind is like a memory card. We all know what a memory card does. We know that your memory card keeps things. This is why it's called memory. This is where the card is coming from, memory card. So that whatever you put in that memory card, it installs, it keeps the information, so that it begins to play the information. It begins to play the information. Your mind is a memory card. It stores files. Those files, they create reasons. They create your future. They create what you want to become. Be careful with what you install in your memory card. And in this case, the memory card I'm talking about is the mind. Be careful of the things that you put and install in your memory card, because they become a reality. A memory card will not play what you've not put in there. For example, if you're looking for a certain song and you put it in a memory card, and that song, let's say the song you want to play is not in that memory card, no matter how many times you try to restart it, it won't work. Why? Because you've not put that thing in your memory card. I have a question for you today. What is it that you are fouling in your mind? What is it that you are putting in your mind? What kind of stuff have you put? What kind of substance are you putting in your memory card? What kind of things are you putting? Are you putting things that will make you to grow? Are you putting things that will deplete you? Are you putting things that will give you value? Are you installing things? What memory, what kind of information are you instilling in your hard drive? And in this case, the hard drive I'm talking about is your memory card. What kind of information are you putting in that? Many of us have stored information. It's sad, it worries me to see that most of us have prepared things where the memory that we've chosen to put, is not a good one. We've chosen to keep a bad memory. We've chosen to keep a bad record. We've chosen to keep a bad thing. What is it that we're doing? Where have we gone wrong? Please, please, I plead with you as you're watching, put the right things in your memory card so that when it's time for those things to play and manifest, the things would definitely manifest without a struggle. Put the things that are needed. Be very careful. Do not hoard things because you have to keep them for remembrance. All the things that you are holding in your life, make sure that these things you are putting, they are things that are good, they are things that will help you. If anything doesn't help you, don't install it into your imaginations. It will create something. And what it will create is something that is bad. So whenever you want to see a good thing, make sure that you create it. Make sure that you plan it. Like I stated earlier when I started on the program, that your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant, even the Bible, even scripture says, what you sow is what you reap. You cannot get a different thing from what you've sown. Make sure that you invest your power in imagining things that are right for your destiny. Don't imagine wrong things. There is no reward in imagining wrong things. Make sure that the things you are imagining are right things. Make sure that the things you are imagining, you are installing, are good and they are perfect things, and these are things that will help you. Now, the other thing that I want you to focus on is the quality of your mind determines the quality of your life. I repeat that. The quality of your mind determines the quality of your future. The quality of your mind determines the quality of your future. Whenever you see someone dressed well, it means that they had planned it in their mind to dress well and show up. So whatever quality you see, the mind, whatever you do, the quality of your future is determinant on your mind. What is it that is in your mind? If your mind has installed bad things, my dear, even what will manifest will be the bad things. Even what will manifest will be the bad thing. Why? Because the quality of your life is determinant. It is dominant on the quality of your future. You cannot do anything about it, and there is nothing that you can do to create it. Now, your mind is in charge of bringing happiness. Many of us say, my happiness is in this person. And we've grown up with that culture of believing that for you to be happy, there must be someone that makes you happy. Well, that's not the message. I've come to change that narrative. Your mind is what determines your happiness. If you want to become sad, for example, if you look at someone and the person looks extremely bad, or the person looks very sad, and you ask them, what's the problem? The person will tell you that the problem is actually what they're thinking about. So when you begin to think about something that's very bad, even your physical body, it becomes very sad and very emotional. It becomes very sad and very emotional. When you see someone happy, actually, these are things that happen in our daily lives that we don't pay particular attention to it. You hear someone screaming, and you ask them what is it? Have you received? And the first question we ask them is, have you received good news? What news have you received? So the good news that the person receives is what gives their physical body strength to jump, rejoice, celebrate, and be happy about it. This is why I say your happiness comes from your mind. At the same time, your sadness comes from your mind. So it is all about the decision that one makes. This morning, as I'll be signing out, I want to encourage you to create pictures, to choose happiness over sorrow, to choose opportunity over things that you see that are hard. This morning, I encourage you to choose the perfect thing. Whatever you've gone through, whatever situation you've gone through, whatever bad situation you've found yourself into, I want you to make a decision right now. And the decision that I want you to make is to be happy. Tell your mind that I am happy, I am blessed, I am victorious, I am prosperous, I am accepted, I am favored, I am loved, I am forgiving, I am winning, I walk in victory, I walk in love. I want you to do that to yourself. You need to do that because you need that for yourself. You don't need that for anyone else, but you need that for yourself. I encourage you this morning, please, please do that. Your mind needs that. Your mind needs that. It is very important that you create your imaginations. In my conclusion, allow me to say a stage you are in is the only stage that will give you access to become what you want to become. The stage you are in, it is the stage that will allow you to manifest. But everything that we do is based on the decisions. Imaginations create, and whatever you've imagined is what comes into reality. Whatever you imagine is what comes into reality. Imagine good things about yourself. Imagine good things about your life. Imagine good things about your ministry. Imagine good things about what you want to become. By doing so, you would definitely become. I believe you've been blessed by this topic, imaginations create, and please share the video so that other people that have not seen it can get to see it. And please join me for yet another exciting topic next week. Today I've brought on imaginations will create. So let's please keep watching Grace TV. Let's see what happens. Let's see what comes next week. Keep enjoying. And by the way, if you've not subscribed to Grace TV, please like the page and follow us so that every time we come live and every time all these wonderful programs comes, you get to be notified and you get connected to Grace TV. I love you so much from Grace TV, and my producer, Mr. Mwanza, thank you so much. Bye-bye. Shalom, shalom. God bless you, and please keep watching Grace TV. From me, your host, Juliet Mwami, it's a bye-bye for now, and see you next week. Enjoy your day.
Seven questions you should ask him within 7 days or 21 days before you develop strong feelings for him, before you like him, before you fall for him. Remember, they say love is blind. If you fall in love without asking these questions, you'll not be able to see these blind spots. I call them love social blind spot. So let's go at it right now. You know, I'm giving you value for your money. Question number 1. Ask this gentleman about his parents. Find out about his parents. His mother could be late, his father could be late, but everyone has parents. Who are those people that are going to come to your home and ask for a hand in marriage? Well, you should have some uncles, some aunties, some grandparents. Everyone has someone they respect. So take time and admire something about him. Now I'm giving you a strategy. So the day you're going to pop a question, you should take time, be natural, breathe in and out. It should come out very natural. Take time to admire something about him. You can choose from his levels of smartness, intelligence, good manners, looks, features. Maybe he's got a masculine body or big hands, or the way he walks. Admire something genuinely about him. After you've admired something about him, then say something like this. Who spoiled you really this good that you know how to treat a woman? Evans, is this something you learned from your mother or from your dad? Do it with a smile. And let's see how Evans handles this. Chances are, Evans is going to say, I learned this from my mother, or I learned this from my dad, or my uncle. You want to establish a relationship with his parents or his guardians. You see, this is most important question of the 7. This is the number 1 question. If you marry a person who has no regards or respect or honor for his parents or guardians, you're in trouble. If you marry this guy and there's a challenge in your house, where do you take him to? He doesn't listen to his father. He doesn't respect his mother. He doesn't respect his uncles or his aunties. Where will you take this guy? Where it's very important for you to marry a person under authority. It's very important for you to marry a person who has somebody higher whom he honors. It's very important for you to establish this before you say yes. A friend of mine came to me and said, I know you, my friend, but can you take me on a coaching program? And I said, what is it? She wanted marriage restoration. I said, what's happening? Oh, she told me the problems they had in their marriage. So I asked her, have you spoken to the parents of your dude, your husband? Oh, you know what she said? He will not listen to anyone. He doesn't listen to the Catholic priest, the Catholic father, doesn't listen to his mother, doesn't listen to the father. They all tell me we can't talk to him. You see, marrying a person without authority, marrying a person who is not under authority, marrying a person who does not honor authority is deadly dangerous. This is a very important question. Don't ask the first 1 week. Wait for the second week. And be as sleek as a serpent. Evans, I notice you like to dress this way. Where did you learn this from, my darling? Is this in your genes? Is this in your family? Or maybe your mother was very hard on you. Smile, make it a joke. Let's hear how Evans responds. If Evans says, no, my father did nothing for me, my uncles did nothing for me. Come on, if this guy is gonna blame everyone, blame his mother, blame his father, blame his uncles, blame his aunties, blame all the elders in his family, this guy is a problematic. Don't say yes until he sorts that out. Hope you got value right there. 7 questions you should ask him within 7 days or 21 days before you develop strong feelings for him, before you like him, before you fall for him. Remember, they say love is blind. If you fall in love without asking these questions, you'll not be able to see these blind spots. I call them love social blind spot. So let's go at it right now. You know, I'm giving you value for your money. Question number 1,